Environmentalists and industries that emit pollutants conflict as the environmentalists demand that the industries are strongly regulated, while the industries and those who support them argue those measures destroy businesses and jobs. Despite this, history shows that compromise is possible.
Environmentalists are protesting against the use of coal because of the negative impacts it has on the environment. The largest ever coal protest, Break Free, was held in several countries including the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, South Africa, and Indonesia in a span of 2 weeks.
% of the United States coal is from surface mining. Surface mining consists of removing mountaintops to expose coal, dramatically changing the landscape of Earth.
40% of the United States coal comes from underground mining. Underground mining leads to many injuries and illnesses, including pneumoconiosis or black lung disease.
Pneumoconiosis, more commonly known as black lung disease, is one of the most common diseases from underground mining. It's caused when dust is deposited deep in the lungs, causing damage.
My name is Chester Fike. I'm 55 years old. I've been a coal miner for 35 years. And 20-some years ago, I figured out that I had black lung. And that made a big impact on my family, my friends. And I can't do what I did. And probably another year, I'm probably not even going to be able to do that.
About 7,000 tons of sulfur dioxide are emitted every year, which has a major toll on public health when the particles are absorbed by the bloodstream and enter the lungs. It also causes acid rain and damages crops, forests, and soil. 500 tons of particulate matter are emitted, causing bronchitis, premature death, haze obstructing visibility, and aggravating asthma. 114 pounds of lead, along with trace amounts of uranium, 220 tons of hydrocarbons, and other toxic metals are emitted from coal-fired power plants annually.
Along with coal plants, the process of mining and transporting coal is affecting the environment by leveling mountaintops and polluting land, air, and water.
Some other environmental problems are ash, sludge, toxic chemicals, and waste heat. Acid rain is when sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides emitted from coal plants react with water, oxygen, and other chemicals, forming sulfuric or nitric acids.
Winds blow sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides across long distances before making acid rain.
Some sources of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides are burning fossil fuels such as coal to generate electricity, gas-powered vehicles and heavy equipment, and industries such as manufacturing and oil refineries.
There are 2 different types of acid rain, wet and dry.
Wet acid rain is when sulfuric and nitric acids fall to the ground in the form of rain, snow, fog, or hail.
Dry acid rain is when acidic particles and gases deposit from the atmosphere onto the surface of water, land, or buildings. To conserve our planet, acts and laws were passed to control the amount coal-fired power plants can pollute the air. An example of one such act is the Clean Air Act of 1963 and 70 and a 1990 amendment, all of which sought to lessen pollution from coal-fired power plants.
Clean Air Acts and amendments have reduced pollution emitted by coal plants, which has improved the air quality. This decline in pollution has occurred during a rapid expansion of the American economy. One compromise the industry had to make was coming up with different types of engines and processes that would emit less sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides, the chemical compounds that cause acid rain.
major compromise between industry and environmental concerns was the market-based solution to pollution called cap and trade. Cap and trade has affected the environment in a positive way by letting coal-fired power plants work together to reach the goals set by the Clean Air. For cap and trade, each company is given an amount of pollution they are allowed to emit. Cap and trade enables companies that use more pollution credits than they are allowed to sell or trade credits with companies that are using less than the amount they are given. The Environmental Defense Fund has stated, cap and trade is our best shot environmentally and economically for curbing emissions that drive global warming. Another example is the Holcomb Power Plant proposal in Kansas, involving Governors Kathleen Sebelius and Mark Parkinson, which ended up being a case of conflict and then compromise. Governor Sebelius vetoed the plan to build Holcomb Station, but Governor Parkinson later made a compromise that allowed a station to be built.
So I really felt this was a bad move. And not only did it go directly against what seemed to be a logical place for Kansas to be in terms of power generation, why in the world would we open new coal-fired plants? All hell broke loose. The legislature determined that they would do everything possible to override the decision made by the secretary. We were able to sustain the vetoes along the way and to really block, at that point, additional coal-fired power.
The proposal itself, in my opinion, was not good for Kansas or good for the environment. And so I think responsible people that are in the energy industry realize that this is an issue they need to address. I thought that the compromise that we reached was a pretty good example of what should happen going forward. That if people want to continue to build new fossil fuel plants, whether they're natural gas or coal, that they can only do it if they are willing to invest a lot of other funds in research and development of non-fossil fuel energy sources. You know, I think that future compromise can occur. I think that the most important part of achieving compromise is to really put yourself in the position of the people that you're negotiating with in order for a solution to occur. If you come into a negotiation and all you're thinking about is yourself and what you need, you're probably not going to create a solution.
History has shown that the environment can suffer greatly when conflicts erupt between economic interests and environmentalists. But compromises such as cap and trade and the Mark Parkinson approach to the Kansas coal plant controversy show that, like the rejuvenation of the
In Buffalo, it is possible for solutions to be found to problems that seem hopeless.